Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you've all had a great week. So I don't really have anything planned for today. Kind of figured I would show you guys around my craft room and show you a couple of the projects that I'm working on at the moment. Well, projects that I've started and I haven't picked up in a while, so I'm hoping to aim to get back to doing them. So to start off with, as we do every weekend, I'm going to show you guys my weigh-in. So let's go. All right, as you can see, I'm down to 138.8 kilos. So that's a 1 kilo loss. So that's pretty good. So we're keeping consistent. Um, Kind of surprised. I was kind of hoping I would lose weight. I've been a bit sick this week, so I'm happy to see that I've actually lost some weight. So that's been good. So yeah, I think eventually I'll show you guys as well a video of what I kind of eat in a day, so you can kind of see what I'm kind of doing during the week, what I eat during the week when I'm at work. But yeah, so I'll show you guys around my craft room. Let's go. Okay, so to start off my tour of my craft room, I'd like to introduce you guys to Melon. This is my sweet, adorable little pup. He's a mini fox terrier, and the lower combo puppy, he's probably about 8 years old now. He's just chilling out on his chair. If he's not here, he's in one of the various beds that we have floating around the house. So to start off with showing you, this is my sewing area. So I've got my sewing machine and my overlocker set up. I've set them up on this IKEA table just so I can kind of roll in between, and I've also got the drawers in the middle so I can grab any tools out that I need while I'm sewing. Over to the left here, this is all my hobby paints and my tools. I've got a different selection of different paints. I've also got some books on the side, and I also have this. This is something that I made a little while ago. It's a little turntable that has a few different pieces on it that I need. Up here, I've got one of my plants. This is my coffee plant that I've been growing for a little while. It's actually due for a repot, so I'm going to work on that soon and get that repotted. And just over here, I've got my computer set up. So I've got my keyboard. I'm currently using an old TV screen just because I don't use it anymore, and it kind of works out quite well as a second computer screen. But I've got that set up. Got my gaming chair, which you've probably seen in the background a couple of times. And then up here, I've got a few more plants. So this really tall one here is a silver sword. I've also got this one here. This is actually indigo. I have to replant that one as well. I'm currently trying to grow it because indigo is actually, well, this is the plant that you use to create indigo dye. So I'm hoping to get this one to grow up to maturity and see if I can get some blue dye out of the leaves. I've also got this little teapot here. This has a little polka dot plant in it. I've had to trim it back. It was going a bit crazy, so I'm just letting it kind of regrow. And then I've got some little drawers here that have a couple tools and things in it. And then in the corners all hanging off, I have my textures, my pencils, and my hobby brushes. So going over here, you can see one of Merlin's various beds. He likes to just chill around, and he also likes to sleep on that chinchilla. So these are all my patterns that I have. I have a lot. I've collected quite a few over the last couple months just to have a look at, and I want to get around to making a few of these and making some adjustments so they can fit me, and also playing around to see if I can change the patterns up a bit. I've got some more little things. I've got paint down here. I've got a sewing kit. As an airbrush, which I haven't used in a while. Well, actually haven't really used, but I'm hoping to learn how to use it properly. So coming over here, these are a couple more of my plants. So in the corner I have an orchid. It's finished flowering for the year, so it's just gonna sit there like that until it decides to flower again. And this one, I actually can't remember what this one is. I've had this one for so long, it just kind of does its own thing. But yeah, I've got a couple of different things. The shelf's a bit bare at the moment. I've just been cleaning up a bit. So moving over, you can see one of my little pairs, and this is Albert. This is the little owl that I mentioned in my thrifting video. He just hangs around. I got him at a garage sale for free. When I bought something else, the lady said, "Oh, no worries, you can just have him." Over here, you can see we've got the apple, and I've got my little swan. I've decided to name my swan Odette because I am a fan of the Swan Lake. Sorry, not Swan Lake, Swan Princess. I liked to watch that when I was a kid. And then over here I've got my Switch and my Xbox, and one of my plants. This is a alocasia. So I remember this one. This is a velvet alocasia that I've got. It's not looking too great at the moment. I'm trying to move it around. I think I had it in too much of a sunny spot, so it's struggling a little bit. And this is my wool collection. So I have a lot. So this is actually the accumulation of various projects that I've tried to do. The ones in the middle are actually part of a granny square project that I'm currently working on. The ones at the top are just some various mishmash ones. One of the yellow is actually part of the blanket that I am working on at the moment. The blue and the white on the side are actually leftovers from a baby blanket that I did, which was actually the first blanket that I ever made. And then down the bottom as well is just bits and pieces of some other ones. So coming over here, this is my kind of my tool drawers. I've got various different things. I've got fabric dye, I've got little glass bottles of beads, lace and all kinds of little trimmings. There's my ironing board. And then coming over here, I've got my thread station. Don't have a lot of thread left, I'm kind of working through it. I've got a puzzle that I finished, I'm thinking about framing, and I've got like my various tools and things like that. This is my DB5. I got this a few years back at a James Bond exhibition when I went down to Melbourne with my dad. It's got Pikachu riding on top, you know, having a nice little snooze. Up here, I've actually got my Fallout poster. I got this with the game when I bought 76. Well, you can't really see it too well because of glare, but yeah, I picked this one up off of that. And this is the last of my plants. This is my, it's a vine. I can't remember what it was. It's kind of just been doing its own thing. I honestly don't take the best care of it, I will admit, but it seems to be doing all right. I've got it weaving in and out of a bird cage that I found at a garage sale. So probably the worst part of this room is my fabric stash. So this isn't even everything, but this is my fabric stash. So one of my goals is I'd like to start to clear this out. This is essentially a combination of me going into fabric stores, finding cheap fabrics on the rack for cheap, and also cosplay projects that I have started and then never completed. So this is one of my goals, as well as my yarn. I'm hoping to get this cleared out and then, well, try not to buy any more fabric, but I know that's a bit bad. And then over here I've got my bookcase. Up the top I've got, you can see I've got Zim, I've got my Hello Kitty, and I've got the Cheshire Cat. I call myself one of Alice in Wonderland. The reason is because I'm an absolute massive fan of Alice in Wonderland. It's also probably why I have multiple copies of the book up there. So this is my bookcase. I have a lot of different magazines, comic books, cookbooks, all kinds of things. And then over here is kind of my little storage area. This is actually a chair that I picked up off the side of the road during what we call council pickup. So it's something where people put out the trash on the side of the road. So things like that. So I picked up that, and I was thinking about repairing it, but at the moment it actually works pretty well for holding together all my different various things like my cardboard. I've got a giant roll of glittery lace sitting in there that I actually picked up from a thrift store for like $20, which is pretty good. And this is one of my mannequins. So this is I actually had this mannequin for a long time. I've had this since I was like 18. She's a bit small, so I tried patting her out a little bit. Probably gonna have to undo her and re-pat her out, but we'll see how we go. So going over here, this is just the last little bit. This is actually my chart. So if I go in a bit more, you can see this is my weight loss chart. So this is what I use to keep an eye on all my weight loss things. So yeah, that's pretty much my craft room. I'm gonna have to stop in a second because Merlin wants off and I think he's stuck. So I'll see you guys back in a second. So Merlin just moved back to his little bed that he likes over here in the corner. He just likes to lie in the sunshine. Yeah, he's giving me the look. You're being adorable, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yeah, so what I'll do next is I'll show you guys a few of my crochet projects that I'm currently working on. Things that I've started that I definitely need to get onto and finish. So I'll show you guys that in a second. Okay, so these are all of my current crochet projects that I have essentially working in progress. So I have 2 star blankets. So this first one, which is a yellow blanket that I am going to be turning into a Mario style. I've pretty much kind of doing it as one color, but every 5 rows I'm doing this polka dotty kind of yellow one. So it's the same kind of yellow, except it's got bits and pieces of like blue, white, and pink kind of strands on it. So it gives it a bit more of a interesting color. Don't mind the scraping. That's just Melon running around like a lunatic. I've got a 2nd star blanket that I'm doing in a pastel rainbow. This is actually the 1st star blanket that I started making from this pattern. I had a few balls of rainbow wool left over from a baby blanket that I made for a friend. And I figured, well, I wanted to learn how to make it, so I decided to try doing it. So this one's actually going to be for me. This is just a general project. this is actually going to be a gift for someone once it's completed. I've also got to figure out how to do the eyes on it for the star, because it's going to be a Mario star. The other one that I've got is I have this. It's an octagon. I'm trying to do an ombre effect on this one. I actually dyed the wool myself. Um, it went okay. I tried to darken it as I went. I guess time will tell. It doesn't look too bad at the moment, but time will actually tell how well this turned out. So I'm going to keep working on that one. And then it should get darker and darker as I gradually go outwards. So we'll see. So this is actually a project that I've been working on since the start of the year. My plan was to make one granny square a day for the year. Running a bit behind on it at the moment. I'm probably about 2 weeks behind on this. But yeah, my goal for the end of the year was to have 365 of these, and I was going to turn them into giant blankets. I bought this wool a while back to make a Halloween blanket. Got way too much because I got hooked in by a spotlight sale and thought, yeah, no worries, I could get a lot of this. So that's a work in progress. I'm hoping to get caught up and have the squares all done by the end of the year, but I'll find out. And the last blanket that I've got is this one. So this is a moss stitch blanket that I'm doing 4 different colors for. So I have a light blue and a light pink, and then I've got a dark blue and a red. This is just a general blanket that I'm making because it's winter now, so I would have liked to have gotten this probably a bit further, but I guess it'll be ready by next winter by the time I'm done this. But it's because I don't actually have a lot of blankets, and I figure with the amount of wool that I've got, might as well just practice and make some. So yeah, these are all my work in progresses at the moment. I'll probably show you guys more of these as time goes on, just to show you my progress. Hopefully I can get the yellow star blanket done by Christmas, because this will be a Christmas present. So this is one I'm going to be working on quite a bit. I don't actually know how big I'm going to make this. I've got about 6 more balls of this. So this is actually a ball and a bit. I've been wrapping it into a ball just to make it a bit easier to kind of do. So I've still got, so I suppose with that, I've got 7 balls of that left. The octagon is just going to depend on how much I have left over of that one. And the same goes for the pastel rainbow star. I've kind of balled up what I have left of this one, so I've probably got another 6 balls left for the rainbow. If I do run out before I get it big enough that I wanted to, it's not an overly expensive wool. It's just an acrylic wool. It's actually quite cheap, especially when you get it on sale. So I may buy more depending on how big this ends up being after I finish the wool that I've got. And I've got heaps of wool. I reckon I'm not going to run out for the granny squares. I think I'm going to have more than enough for that. My goal is to actually try and use up all of that wool. But we'll see how we go. Yeah, that's all my projects. Okay, so that's all my projects that I'm currently working on crochet-wise. I'm hoping going forward to start doing some sewing projects as well. Like I said, I showed you guys all my patterns. I want to start trying to mess around with those again and try to seriously clear out my fabric stash before I attempt to buy more, because probably should use some of that up. But yeah, I hope I can show you some of these things as time going forward. I also want to try and eventually pick up some other crochet projects as well. I want to learn some different stitches and some different techniques just to see what I can come up with. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for coming along. And I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.